So let me share my screen with you guys. Relative strength indicator. Yes, RSI. Sorry. Thanks, WeZoom. Let me add my screen and let's talk about it. All right, here we go. Here we go. Now, I'm going to start with the markets as usual. Okay. So this is the triple Qs. Triple Qs is the NASDAQ 100. I'll answer the rest of the questions later. So we talk about RSI, right? Okay. On the triple Qs, the RSI 3 days ago, sorry, right here on this bar that I'm highlighting was fifth highest ever. Think about ever is a long time, at 81.52. Okay, relative strength index. Okay, the next day it went just a tad higher at 81.59. Okay, that was the high. Yesterday, market had a drawdown. Market was down a little bit, as you guys can see in this bar. Now, we're all looking at the upper right-hand corner of the chart, people. And today, market's down a little bit more. Now, the RSI went from 81.59. As of this second, we are at 71.7. Okay? We're going to talk about RSI. We're going to talk about divergences a little bit looking at this chart, right? So what do you guys see here? What I think is going to happen? See, we had this kind of a pullback before on the RSI. You guys can see where my cursor is at right here. Pullback, and then it makes a new high. I think what's going to happen is that market's still going to, first of all, it's in an uptrend. Unquestionable. Is there a question about it? No. Have we had these little 1%, 2%, 3% pullbacks? You know, look at this, right? Higher highs, higher lows. Still in an uptrend. I have my uptrend lines up, waiting. There's one uptrend. There's a longer term uptrend I'm highlighting. Here's the 20-day EMA, the white line right here. I highlighted it. Here's the 50-day EMA meaning exponential moving average. And here's the 200-day EMA. Those are all support levels. And the market's so far from those numbers, I'm not even concerned that this is a pullback of any major, that's going to create a major issue. But what's going to happen for my money, and especially on NVIDIA as well, is that market's going to keep grinding, making new highs, but RSI will never get back to 81.59 that it did. And it's going to create something called a bearish divergence. When bearish divergences happen, the stock price or the asset price or the index price will make higher highs, but RSI will never make new highs again. Okay. So then the crack will happen. That's when you see the internals of the market deteriorate, which it is now, advanced decline line, such things like that. And it will just roll over, and then we'll have a massive drawdown of maybe 5, 8, 10%. These 1, 2, 3% corrections that the market's having is nothing to me. It's really nothing. So one of the stocks that I talked about is on my watch list is AMD. Had a massive update yesterday. It's still going sideways. Not much really to talk about, but on a breakout, the stock is going to go up 30 points higher or 30 points lower. Patience, please, people. 3 Ps. And here's NVIDIA. Okay? Here is NVIDIA. Now, I have my support lines drawn on NVIDIA. Here's one support line. Here's another support line. And I talked about this last week, saying that this stock is so far above its 200 EMA that the kind of correction is imminent. Here's another support line. I have my 4 support lines drawn. Stock is still above its 20 EMA, way above its 50 EMA, and ridiculously far away from its 200 EMA, with an uptrend that comes into play right about 90. This is after a 10-for-1 split. However, again, the RSI, right? RSI reached, when the stock was at 140, all pre-split 1400, RSI reached a high of 81.37. Now, you guys have to understand, when RSI reaches 80s, stock means it's overbought. A correction is kind of imminent. Doesn't have to be a massive correction, but some sort of pullback is imminent. And if you guys can see right here, I'm circling on the chart. When RSI gets up to these levels, like here, numbers are 82.54. The highest I've seen on NVIDIA was 85.26, right? But then on the correction, like it did here, right, from about 74 down to 66, which is 8 points, which is about 12% ish, or 10%, 11%. RSI got corrected down to from 80s to 50s. The key for me to watch RSI is, as long as the RSI can pull back in an uptrend, as long as it holds about 50, I'm okay with it. 50 is the support level on an RSI, and if it does approach 50 with RSI and with your support levels that you've pre-drawn already, you should be fine. However, watch this candle, or people call it candles. I don't watch candles, I watch bar charts. This right here, yesterday, stock at 140, and then it closed down at 130. That's called an outside key reversal day. Those do not take place that often. There is one right here, as you guys can see where I'm circling, right? And what happened after that to NVIDIA? NVIDIA graded sideways, retested the high, and then had a decent correction. You went from about 97 all the way down to 75. That's about 22 points. That's about close to a 20%, 25% correction, right? So I'm betting that the same thing is going to happen now. Now that the RSI has pulled back to, as of this second, stock is down another 4 points today, by the way. Right now, RSI is about 63. What I think is going to happen, it's in the first support level. It may pull back to the serious support, which is at the 20-day EMA right here, which is this line right here, and it will retest the high. My money says so, the way I've seen these things happen before. So key reversal day yesterday, and followed by another down day, is an indicator that the stock is tired. Is it still in an uptrend? Absolutely. Will I be a buyer and a trader of this right here at the 20-day average, or hopefully at 50-day average? Absolutely. My support lines are drawn. Okay. I'm just going to trade what I'm given. But I think what's going to happen is there will be another rally retesting the 140, 138, 140 high. RSI will not make that old high in the 82, 85 level. And then you will have the correction. Now, even if the stock pulls back to the 50-day EMA, which I just highlighted for you guys, which is, as of now, is at 107. Stock is 126. Stock at 140. The stock could pull back another $25 and still be in a beautiful uptrend, will create a buying opportunity. So nothing panicking here, normal correction. Honestly, what else is there to say? And I'm going to touch on Tesla. Again, still going sideways, but is squeezing itself into a little wedge, long-term wedge up here. And this wedge is like really, really important. I think this is going to be the future of Tesla. This uptrend right here that I've highlighted goes back to February of 2020. This down part, the downtrend, goes back to the old high, which is at 400. These are all pre-split, split numbers. You guys see this? This is called a wedge. And how the stock is, like, every time it hits the bottom of the wedge, it bounces, it hits the top of the wedge, it gets rejected, rejected, rejected. How many times? Well, this wedge with the price every day is going to get tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. And it'll probably have another 2-3 months of sideways, but that's not the point. The point is, at some point, this pattern is going to be broken. My history of 30 years says, if this pattern is broken to the upside, watch out. It'll be a mother of all rallies, okay? Or if this pattern is broken to the downside, watch out. We're going back to $30. Again, you guys may call me crazy. I'm saying there is massive upside and downside potential coming up on this. But again, patience. There is many other stocks to look at and trade. I will include my watch list, by the way, when I'm done with it. Couple other things that I like. I actually just bought Chewy, CHWY. Here's the chart. You guys know what I do, right? You guys know I wait, and here's Chewy. Is there anything not to like about Chewy at the moment? Right? Okay. What did the stock do? Earnings came out, stock blew out. Huge, massive up day. Then it kind of consolidated, went sideways. Another massive leg up above its 200-day average, above its 20 EMA, above its 50 EMA. All the averages are curling up. Last couple days, stock had a little correction from 27 to 24 and a half. I'm all over it. I'm buying it here. Every half a point to a point, I'm going to keep adding. With a stop at 22. Here's my stop at 22. Low risk trade. I think stock is going into the high 30s. This is one of the ones I'm buying. Another one, actually, I just started buying today. Lucky you guys. Again, very low risk trade. It's Bloom Energy. This was one on my watch list. I'm buying it right here on the 200-day moving average, about 13, 13, 13, 14. Stock was as high as 18. It had a massive breakout. It's pulling back to support. My risk is about 12 right here, or about 11 and change. So I'm risking about 11, 12% to have it revisit 18 again. So those are the two that I'm actively involved buying. Another one I'm waiting to buy on the next leg up. Two, actually. Well, one of them is one of the ones that I've talked about it before, Carvana. Okay. What is happening with the stock, right? I mean, it's just had earnings, went up, gapped up, came down, closed the gap almost. Now it's just kind of going sideways. On the next leg up, the stock is going to 160s. Just like this pattern right here, I'm circling for you guys. You guys see the similarity in the pattern? All it does is go sideways for about a month, month and a half. Patience again. I'll be all over this when it starts moving. You guys need to pay attention to all these. Another one that well, I'm long this one. I told you guys last week where I bought the stock. This is Billy, right? It's the same similar pattern. You know, I keep these are the best setups that you guys can do. This looks like just the Bloom Energy chart, right? Stock had gone to 17, pulled back to the 200-day, rallied, pulled back again, retested again. Now it's making new highs at 18. I've been long the stock since 14. I'm going to keep holding on to it. Nothing wrong with this chart. Let's see, a couple other ones. MicroStrategy, right? They keep issuing stock. I mean, Bitcoin is about 64,000, 63,500. Man, this guy has balls. He keeps borrowing money and buying Bitcoin. Oh, I talked about First Solar. Kind of goofy now. It had a little fake breakout of that flag pattern, and then now it's kind of pulling back. I'll be kind of cautious. I'm not long. Oh, another one, Pinduoduo, which is the parent company of Temu, whatever you guys you want to call it. I mean, it's on the 50-day average. Am I a huge fan? No, but just kind of going sideways. Well, GameStop. You guys want to watch GameStop? There's GameStop right there. I don't know. See those spikes, by the way? This massive spike and this massive spike. That's when the company issued shares. 120 million worth of shares issued, and all the retail bought it. So, you know, waiting game on GameStop. I like this chart, Super Microcomputer. It had a, I've been watching this, as you guys know. It had a breakout, pullback. You know, I like these types of patterns when stocks start going sideways. But then I told you guys what I'm actively buying. So, you know, which was this one, BE, Chewy. And on the small side, you know what? I'll throw that in there. Serve Robotics. Those are the little bug-eyed robots that you guys see all over the LA. And I even made a video about that. I bought the stock at $2 today. I bought 8,000 shares at 2. Oh, it's at 212. I'll keep adding to it. You guys can get into this reasonably comfortably. I mean, it's, you know, it's reasonably low risk at the moment. If you guys don't believe me, I'll show you my position. I have 8,000 shares of the damn thing. On the daily chart, this is what it looks like. This came public at 4, by the way. Every time it gets down to like 2 and under, it rallies back to 375 to 4. So I gave it a shot. I bought 8,000 shares, average about 210, I think, or overall average. It's at 212. You guys, give it a shot. Low risk trade, really. Like, stop yourself out at 185. I don't know, risking like, 30 cents to make $1.50. Pretty good upside downside.